Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are going to be talking about the definitions, the ways you measure, and the units of measurement for mass, volume, and weight. So these three components are usually the main things that people think of when they think about the physical properties of matter. So mass is defined as the amount of matter in something. It's measured with a balance, either a triple balance or a pan balance, and the units of measurement are milligrams, grams, and kilograms. Now, volume is how much space matter takes up, and you measure it with a graduated cylinder. Now, in the previous video, if you'll remember the image of the two graduated cylinders, we had 30 milliliters of water in one. We put a rock into it, and the second image showed the graduated cylinder with the rock and the water, but the water's level had risen to 35 milliliters. And so the volume of the rock was 5 milliliters because that's how much space that rock, that matter, took up. And the unit of measurement is either milliliters or liters. Now for weight is determined by gravity acting on an object's mass. And if we think about it, depending on the amount of gravity on a certain celestial object, for instance, the gravity on Earth compared to the amount of gravity on Jupiter, the amount of gravity on Jupiter is so much higher. And therefore, someone who has a lighter weight on Earth, if they went to Jupiter, because of the amount of gravity on Jupiter, they may not be able to move because the gravity is so much higher that it would just bear down on them and make it very hard to move. So weight is simply determined by the gravity acting on an object's mass. It's measured with a scale. You may think of a spring scale, which is one that you hang matter from, and the weight of gravity pushing down on it determines its weight that way. Or you can think of a scale that you would use to take your weight that you step up on. Some of you have seen the tall ones like they use at the doctor's office that uses the beams and the riders, and they slide it back and forth to determine your weight. Others, you may be used to a digital scale that you step on it and the display pops up with your weight in digits. And most of the time, weight is measured in ounces and pounds. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. I do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.